Diddy has just come out and allegedly denied his relationships with underage girls. Gene Deal has previously spoken about this.
That's some real thirsty, desperate for them to fly a 17-year-old girl, you know, on a G5. They was flying G5 and G4 jets back then. All the way to New York to gang rap her in the studio. Man, I wish I could give them their punishment, if that's true.
Yeah, that's what she said, man. She said that Diddy, he flew her to New York, took her to the studio, gave her drugs, and gang. And there's pictures online too. So she was at his studio, Daddy house. So, I mean, she ain't lying about that. She was there, man.
Well, if anything, at that time, if anything came from Detroit, it was one of Puff A&R. They called him Slam. He was from Detroit. He used to set up everything, you know, for Diddy. The time I told y'all about Diddy getting the fellatio when Jennifer Lopez was upstairs, Slam set that up. You know what I mean? So if it came from Detroit, it probably came from Slam. Because he was another one of the dudes that was a flunky around there. You know, but it's crazy, man. I really don't, I got daughters, man. I have words, I don't have words for that, bro.
People, however, are not falling for it, considering the overflow of evidence and testimony pouring in from all corners of the internet. Take a look at this video of a girl he seemingly adopted, for example.
My name's Ava. I'm a Scorpio.
No. What's your last name?
Ava.
What's your other last name?
Ava.
Eva Baroni Combs? Yes, it's breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child. I want you to tell them the story about how I adopted you. But you still have beautiful parents that you're my child also. Please tell the story.
So, I was on the street, and then Papa Combs decided that he would like to be a caring man. So then he saw me and decided to pick me up and said to come inside and play with his kids.
I don't want nobody. You want to get it clear. I adopted you like Madonna adopted kids and everybody else adopted kids. Charlize Theron, everybody's ever adopted Sandra Bullock. I adopted you because I felt that you could, you know, enjoy also having a black parent to take care of you and help you out. So, just clarify it because it's crazy out here online. So I play with the kids. I got permission from your mother. Say all of that. It's crazy.
I met Jesse and Lila when I was 6 months old.
6 months.
And then, basically, sister, all the 4 of us.
6 months.
I always come over.
Yes. And it's Ava Brioni Combs. Come on.
Diddy has even been investigated for sexual relationships with minors before.
You made a comment, right, saying that you knew someone that went through Jimmy Hinchman proffer agreement for a drug case. And the proffer agreement revealed that Jimmy Hinchman, he could have walked away if he would have given up Diddy. What you mean by that?
Well, what happened was that they had 9 different sessions with Jimmy Hinchman regarding his proffer agreement. So that means the feds went in there 9 different times to talk to him. And in those sessions, they asked him, what do you know about Sean Puffy Combs or Sean Diddy Combs? I don't think it was Puffy at that time. It wasn't Diddy at the time. But what do you know about Sean John Puffy Combs having sex with an underage boy? And you gotta realize, and people never think about this, that Jimmy and his brother, I think they had the same charges. But his brother walked away from that, and Jimmy gets life without the possibility of parole, I think. Which is crazy. For any drug charge. Nobody should spend their life in jail for drug charges. And just drug charges. But I think they try to tie him to some murders or something like that. I don't know that to be for sure. But he shouldn't spend his life in jail for no drug charges. Not at all. So, but they was gonna let him walk. If he'd have probably had to, for that proffer agreement, they probably would have let him walk. If he had any information regarding Puff having sex with underage boys. That the feds asked him in 2011. In 2011, brother. So what did the feds know? Because the feds not coming there unless somebody made a report or somebody made some allegations against Puff in 2011 to ask a friend of his, Jimmy Henchman, what do you know about that? But for them to ask him about that, it had to be more than a rumor. Somebody made a complaint somewhere. And the feds got hold to that complaint. Now they're going to investigate that complaint when they get people under the barrel, like they had Jimmy Henchman. That's why they asked him.
If he did know information, right, why you think he didn't tell?
Then they would ask, how do you know? And then it comes into play, whereas that if you know of anybody that's endangering the welfare of a child, and you see that, and you don't report it, you're just as guilty as the person who does it.
And not only that, he has for the longest time been accused of running a whole sex ring.
And you made a comment on one of your lives saying that Diddy, he was connected to an international sex ring. If you don't mind, can you break that down? How you know about that?
Well, see, the international madam, what happens is that you got to realize that I had said something on my program before that you have promoters who Puff won't give a party tonight. They'll call like 10, 15 promoters. Yo, I need 10 girls, I need 15 girls, I need 50 girls, I need 75 girls, and those guys get paid for those girls coming to the parties. Y'all didn't know that, did y'all? You know what I'm saying? They'll call those girls up and say, yo, I got free tickets for y'all to go to Puff party. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is dress up. You know you gotta get fly or you ain't gonna come in the party. They ain't gonna let you in the party. They have a guest list right there. But those guys get paid off that guest list. You understand? This is how they used to do it back in the day. So it was this girl, you understand, and she was Nieves. I'm not gonna say her full name. You understand? She was one of the girls who used to work, as a madam. But she also sold narcotics to her clients and to her girls. You understand? So now, if Puff needed some girls there who had girls that were working, you understand? Who, like, I got these guys here. You understand what I'm saying? I got these guys here, and I know they're gonna want girls that are gonna go to the hotel with them afterwards. These girls are the type of girls that, as long as they paying or they getting paid, they gonna go with the guys, because they know what the deal is anyway. You understand? And so, Uncle Paulie might be, Uncle Paulie, Paul is probably one of the dudes that will get in touch with her and say, yo, have some of your girls come through. You understand what I'm saying? So at this one given time, Paul was also dealing with them BMF cats. You understand? He was dealing with the BMF cats. And everybody know what BMF was doing. You know what I mean? And it was a situation whereas that she was told by Paul to bring something and sell it to this undercover. You understand? Now, if I tell you to sell something to an undercover, if you get arrested, don't I supposed to get arrested too? So she knew, and everybody knew that was a setup by him, and her boyfriend got arrested. And another dude this Italian dude got arrested, and they told the same story. You understand? So it was somebody from Bad Boy Security, Paul, who they were dealing with on that level with before, that set them up with a undercover, and that's why they went to jail and did fair time and was deported out the country.
And that's where Diddy would get all his drugs and escorts from.
Well, her clients. And if they came through Bad Boy, they was her clients.
Many have also started pointing out how Diddy was accused of sexually assaulting Jaden Smith with his father Will.
Their good friend who...
Bilal told me, Jaden, he told me that you knew Will was f***ing your child. Yes, he did. Wonder why he left that out of his Tasha K interview.
Yeah, in that interview, he said a lot. He said a lot.
He said everything but the thing that was important. That he know that Will Smith, Jaden, he raped Bashir and he raped Neek Mills, and you know it, Bilal. Now you know how far in the desert you run. You'll go from a Philly nigga to a sand, but they'll still get you.
He's Philly though, Jay. It's Philly.
You know, he Meek Milk. As far as I'm concerned, he Meek Milk. I ain't calling him Mill no more, that's milk. That's Meek Milk. Added to the honeycomb. You got a meal.
So you believe the Dwayne Martin story, that could happen?
Of course, everybody know that shit. Everybody knew they was just ain't nobody know Dwayne was folding him over like that, taking him to Pound Town. You stand on red carpets with the and you sell an image of lies. Then you influence the public and ask the public to covet and want your life. Who wants that? Who jealous of that? A bunch of whack too afraid to find a real man and real love. So you marry a get for a Birkin bag and then turn your head while he's f***ing a bunch of kids. I don't feel sorry for none of you bitch. Don't y'all sit around writing your books, telling your sob stories.
And he would not be the only celebrity to have suffered from a fate like that at the hands of Diddy. Usher has also seemingly gone through the same thing. And Gene Deal has corroborated this.
Well, I mentioned that earlier, that he said about Stevie J. The Usher part, that's a touchy situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a certain feeling, and I felt a certain way when Usher got on Shay Shay, and I don't mean to mention other people's platforms, but he got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying? About the business, right? I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now I let Usher explain that to y'all. I let Usher tell that story. But how dare you say a man that groomed you, you gonna give him a pass? Bruh, you know I know. You know, and a lot of more people know didn't do you right when you was at Diddy camp. Y'all put it together.
And what you mean by Diddy count?
Remember? He was on one of the talk shows. The white guy with the curly hair. What's his name? The white guy with the curly hair. And he said, yo, would you send your son to Diddy camp? And Usher said, no. Ask him why he won't send him to Diddy camp. But yet and still you praise him.
Damn, man, and you said that, I know you can't go into detail, but you said that it was a situation where Diddy sent him to the hospital?
Let Usher explain that to you. Let Usher mama explain that to you. And the hospital was in Scarsdale, New York.
The 17-year-old girl in question, however, dropped a bombshell of a lawsuit. A woman, who is nameless in the lawsuit, claims Combs and 2 other men ganged her in New York in 2003 when she was 17 and he was 34. In the lawsuit, filed Wednesday in Manhattan and reviewed by EW, the woman claims she met the 2 men at a Detroit area lounge and was flown to a recording studio in New York by private plane. According to the lawsuit, once she arrived, Combs and the 2 men plied her with narcotics and booze and took turns raping her while she was in and out of consciousness. The complaint claims she fell into the fetal position and lay on the floor after the alleged attacks and was eventually transported back to Michigan. In a statement to EW, Combs denied the allegations. "Enough is enough," he said. "For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth." Douglas H. Wigdor, an attorney for the woman, said in his own statement, "As alleged in the complaint, defendants preyed on a vulnerable high school teenager as part of a sex trafficking scheme that involved plying her with drugs and alcohol and transporting her by private jet to New York City. The depravity of these abhorrent acts has, not surprisingly, scarred our client for life." However, Diddy recently petitioned a federal judge to dismiss the lawsuit, claiming that it was a false and hideous claim filed beyond the deadline. The legal action is the latest counterattack from the 54-year-old hip-hop entrepreneur and his legal team following many similar cases and a related criminal sex trafficking investigation. Mr. Combs and his companies categorically deny plaintiffs' decades-old tale against them, which has caused incalculable damage to their reputations and business standing before any evidence has been presented, the complaint said, naming Combs-owned corporations as defendants. Plaintiff cannot allege what day or time of year the alleged incident occurred, but miraculously remembers other salacious details, despite her alleged incapacitated condition. The case was launched in December and amended in March by a lady who now lives in Canada, but whose name was not revealed in the court filing. The defense brief requests that the action be dismissed now with prejudice, which means it cannot be refiled. That's all for the video, folks. Thanks for watching.